शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोर्श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य तोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुभिज्ञस्वराट् मेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदि कवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजता ददोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यैति। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 9, beginning from verse number 25. These are prayers of Sri Prahlad to Lord Nrsimhadev. And in the previous verses we read, he was praying to the Lord that please take him to his association of his devotees, because he does not want to be in the association of non-devotees. And says that he has experience of the material world, all the good facilities, positions, powers which people hanker for, and he does not find any solace, any happiness in them. So he continues speaking in the same way. He says, Kutra shisha sruti sukha mrigatrishni rupaha kvedam kalevaram ashesha rujam gryoha nirvidyate natu jano yadapiti vidvan kamanalam madhulavai samayan durapai. He says that what is there in these pleasures which we hear, because many things we do not experience, and we hear about them, that they are very nice. You go to this place, you see particular program. So he says, Mrik Trishni Rupa, they are like the mirage in the desert. They look nice from far, but when you go there, there is no essence in them. And Kvedam Kalevaram Ashesha Rujam Viro. And And on top of that, the very basis through which we have to enjoy this human body, so this itself is a source of trouble, because always some problem keeps coming, and then if you eat less you suffer, if you eat more you suffer, and it's very difficult to find out what is the right amount to eat. If you eat the wrong thing, then you have a problem, right? So even doctors suffer, not only the patients. Patients think that doctors must be healthy. Doctors are also patients. So he says that Kalevaram Ashesh Rujam Viro. He says Ashesh Rujam means there is no end how many diseases can come, because many diseases are known to us, many more are known, not known, and many more will be invented in future. Nirvidyate natu jano yadapi iti vidwan. But he says the most amazing thing is that still people do not cease from this desire to enjoy. And he gives an example. He says, Kama nalam madhulavai shamayan durape. He says that the desires are like fire which are burning, and people are trying to quell this fire, extinguish the fire by putting few drops of honey. Madhulavai shamayan durapa. So few drops of, if you put it on water, they will evaporate. If you put honey, it will burn. So therefore he says it is durapa, it is not possible to bring an end to it. But this is what people are trying. That they have many desires, and then they get few drops of honey. So they think that something more is going to come. In Mahabharata there is a story, allegorical story, that there was one man, he went to forest. So when he was there, then suddenly he sees one lion coming from the opposite side. So he starts running away from him. When he is running, he sees another tiger coming from the opposite sides. So then he gets scared from both sides, he runs to another side, and in a hurry he falls into a well. But when he realizes that he is falling into the well, there was a branch of one big tree which was hanging in the well. So he holds on to the branch. So he does not really fall down. So he is hanging. And then he looks down. He sees that there is a snake sitting in the well, down, with his tongue coming out. And then he is looking up. So he sees that this lion is up, snake is down. And then he sees that there are two mouse. They are cutting this branch. But then he realizes that there is a beehive on top of the branch, and once in a while some drop of honey falls down from that. So he is busy trying to lick that. So this is similar thing. He says, Kama nalam madhulavai shamayan durapai. So basically everybody is in the grip of death, because snake means death. And these two mouse are day and night, which are cutting the branch of life. The branch is his life, because as long as he is hanging on to the branch, he is alive. As soon as he falls down, he is dead. So these two mouse, one black and one white, they are biting on it. So it's day and night. And once in a while you get some pleasure and you forget about this snake. So, karishyami, karishyami, karishyami iti chintaya marishyami iti vismarita. That we are always worried, I will do this, I will get this, I will attain this, and in this process we forget that I am going to die. So few drops of honey you get once in a while. And he says that nirvidyate natu jano yadapi. Says that people, they know, but still they don't stop. Because these few drops of honey are so attractive that they keep them going on. So Sri Vishnu Chakravarti says, Tari kimiti bhogashvaryam sarvameva loko vanchati chet. So, as if Lord is asking that you don't want all these pleasures, you don't want heaven, you don't want even the kingdom of your father. So why is that all other people, they are looking for these things? Sarvaiva loko vanchati iti chet sarvopi anabhigya. So this is because people are under the influence of ignorance. Mrigatrishna rupa, Mrigatrishna yatha drishti sukh rupa, tathaiva ashisho rajya. So he said, just as the water which you see in the mirage, it only gives pleasure to the eyes. If you are thirsty, you see it and you think there is water and you are going to drink it. But as you go closer and closer, and there is nothing there. So you have the hope that you will find it, but you don't find it. So he says all these pleasures are like that. You think you are going to get it, but when you go to get it, then some other trouble comes. But in between you get few drops which keeps you going. If you never get anything, you become totally frustrated. So these few drops come, and then you have hope that you will get more. So he says, Drishti Sukha Rupa, that they only give pleasure for looking or by hearing. You hear something good, when you go there, it's not really like that. We imagine a lot of things. So he says, Rajyadya api Shruti Sukh Matra. So he says all this happiness of kingdom. In the olden days there was kingdom, now you have presidents, prime minister of countries, some ministers. So people think that it is very nice to be like that, you have some power, but if you go and see their life, then there is not much happiness in it. It looks nice, or you hear about it, that how great is so and so, how much they are enjoying, but if you analyze their life personally, then there is nothing. Spardha, asuya, rag, dvesh, papa, aya, chintadibhir, vastuta, sukhlesasya bhavat. Why is that there is no happiness? So he says that everybody's life, there is some competition at job or in family itself, or there is envy, there is raga and dvesha. Some people you don't like, some people you like, but they also cause trouble. So you are trying to get rid of these things. You are in a situation which you are not satisfied with that. So you keep on moving. Because if you are happy, why do you move? You are always dissatisfied. You change your house, change your job, change your country. So always moving. So this is because there is some problem. So he said that there is no happiness, you only hear about it. Sukhlesasya bhavat. Astu va sukham tasya bhoga asamarthyat mahadeva dukkha. And sometimes if there is some happiness which is really there, then your body troubles you. Then you cannot enjoy because the body has its own limitations. Even if you are healthy, you cannot enjoy unlimitedly. It has its own limitations. Our body, our mind, our senses, they are all limited. So you want more. Anything you enjoy, you want more of it. At least the mind desires. But you cannot handle it. And if you try to get more of it, then there is a reaction in the body. Then it creates another trouble. So therefore he says that if at all there is something, then you cannot enjoy because of the body, and body falls sick if you enjoy too much with it. So therefore mahadeva dukkha kvaidam yadyato vidwan api jana iti vichari api na nirvidyate tatam murkha kimute. And then he says that the interesting thing is that even those people who are learned, who know, they also don't bring an end to it. They also continue. There are some who do not know. So he says, what to speak of those who do not know? Majority of the people are ignorant. They have no idea what is life all about, why we live, what is the purpose, why do we suffer, how can we counteract our suffering. Most people don't know this. Most people actually don't even think about it. They are just going along the flow. Whatever my neighbor is doing, whatever my friends are doing, I also do that. So everybody is doing what others are doing, and others are doing what you are doing. So nobody really knows who is following whom. So he says this is the situation of ignorant people, but even those who have some understanding, some knowledge, they also cannot give it up. And then he gives the reason for that. He says, there after these few drops, so kidrisham kama rupam analam madhulavi sukhle se samya. So he describes the desires in the mind like the fire. Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita 3rd chapter that these desires, they burn like fire. So he said, just like when you are hungry, so you have desire for food, so there is a fire in the stomach. So like that the desires are fiery. Fire means it demands. You have to put some fuel into it to keep it going. So he says, you try to satisfy the fire with little happiness. Madhu means some happiness. Naham madhulave ranala samyati pratyudipyate. But he says that if you get some happiness, means you get some desire fulfilled, then the desire does not come to an end. Then you get more desires. It's like if you put honey into the fire, and it does not bring fire down, it burns it more. Because honey burns. Pure honey will burn. So he says this is how the life goes on. So you get caught in the net of desires, and then you have no time to think, why am I desiring this? I desired many things in the past, and when those desires were not fulfilled, then I was thinking that when they will be fulfilled, I will be really happy. But when they got fulfilled, you forgot about that, how you were thinking when they were not fulfilled. Because by now, your mind is already captivated by some other desire. In the previous one, you lose. So we are always having importance for things which we don't have. And what we have, that is not of much value. As long as we don't have it, it has value for us. So we work for it. When we get it, then we work for something else which we don't have. Now we have this. So then you keep on going from one to another, one to another, one to another. So he says, there's no end to it. This is the meaning of fire and praising. Durapairiti teja sukhalesha dukhaireva uparjita. So in this happiness which you get, that also does not come happily. To get that happiness also, you have to go through some suffering. So to get happiness, you have to suffer, and when you get it, then you suffer after that. So this is the cycle. This is what he calls Durapa. So Prahlad is very much hammering on this point because he suffered a lot. So he is speaking from his experience. So sometimes we don't have experience like Prahlad, so we may not agree. He says, why he is speaking like this? So we get small problems which we continue to tolerate. In case of Prahlad, he got wholesale. He was troubled by his father in many ways. So he experienced, and then he was with all these asuric people who were not understanding his mind, his mood. So he suffered by their association. Even if everything was alright, still he was in problem because he didn't like the association of these non-devotees. So unless we get a heavy suffering, we don't think. We continue to tolerate and hoping that we will get drops of honey. So sometimes when big suffering comes, it is a blessing. It's like a wake-up call. As if God is trying to wake you up. Come on, what are you doing here? So like Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, suddenly he sees all his relatives standing in front of him. And they are about to die. So everybody's relative dies. We have seen many of our relatives dying. Grandparents or parents or other relatives. Many of them are dead. Some of them we did not even see. But they did not die altogether. They died with some gap. Somebody died and after a few years another one died. So in the few years we get time to comfort ourselves. We get few drops of honey in between. So we continue to tolerate. And therefore we don't think like Arjuna. In case of Arjuna, everybody is standing there. It's like all my relatives come in front of me and I realize that they are all going to die in half an hour. And how do you feel? So that's how he felt. So sometimes when miseries come in a very lukewarm way, then we tolerate them. No problem. That much we can handle. But if sometimes it comes wholesale, it pours on those few drops, but heavy downpour of problems, then we become thoughtful. So Arjuna has that situation that all his relatives or all his attachments suddenly, as if he has to give up all his attachment. So Prahlad also, he faced heavy problem. Nobody faced this much trouble in his or her life in the history as Prahlad faced. Nobody. So therefore he has a very good experience. So we may not agree with him, but fact is that if we accumulate all the problems which we have faced in our lives, then he is right. So that's why it says that people who know, they don't try to give it up because they are not getting it all at one shot. It comes in quantas. So they handle it and they continue. Such foolish people, ignorant people, they don't know about it. So they live like animals. Animals suffer, but they don't bother about it. They continue. They don't make any plan. Human beings, if it is hot or cold, they try to do something. You see monkeys, they just here and there in the rain, in the heat, in the cold. They don't think like we make a house. So they just tolerate. So ignorant people are also like that. But those who know, they also try to avoid it because they don't get it at one shot. So that's what it says, that Madhulavai Shamayan Durapai. Now, in the next verse, he appreciates the mercy of the Lord on him. Because although he was so much in trouble, and suddenly he's sitting in the lap, or he's standing in front of Lord Nrsimhadev, so he is overwhelmed that how did this happen to me? So he says, Kwaham Raja Prabhu Shatamodhikesmin Jata Suraitar Kulai Tavanukampa Na Brahmano na tu bhavasya na vairamaya Yanme pita shirasi padma karaha prasadaha. So he is trying to compare his humble situation with the grace which he has achieved. He says, where I am born in Rajas, Rajaprabha, Isha, our Lord, Tamodhika esmin jata suretur kali. And I am born in this family of Asuras, which is very tamasic. So Tamodhika esmin jata suretur kule kwa tavan kampa. Where is your grace? But suddenly I have your mercy on me, although I am just a Rajasic, Tamasic person, born in the Daitya family. And not ordinary grace. He says that the grace which even Brahma, Shiva or Lakshmi could not get. Because you have put your lotus hand on my head. So we read earlier that when Prahlad fell down on the ground to pay obeisances to Lord Nrsimhadev, then he lifted him up and put his hand on his head. So he says, you have not done this to Brahma. Brahma never got Lord's hand on his head. In third canto, second canto, it is described that Lord came and touched him with the hand in the beginning of creation. But he did not put it on his head. And Lord Shiva also never got this chance. About Lakshmi, we don't know. See, the wife maybe she got, but at least Prahlad has not seen it. So he says, Na brahmano na tu bhavasya na vai ramaya in me arpita sarasi padma karaprasad. So this prasad, this grace of putting your hand on my head, this I cannot imagine, I cannot believe it. So sometimes when suddenly some grace comes, it becomes unbelievable. That is it really true or am I dreaming? When we don't have the grace, we don't believe it, that we can get it. When we get it, we also don't believe it, that did we really get it? It's another thing. How is it possible that I got it? Maybe it's not true. So he is thinking like that. But it did not happen gradually, it happened suddenly. So therefore he says, how did this happen? So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti says, Kincha yadapi madrisho nasti kopi adhama tadapi tvam mam sarvattam akarot. So he says, there is nobody who is more low than me. I am the lowest. And he explains why. He's not just saying, many times people say, I am the most fallen. So he actually is telling why he is most fallen, because he is born in the Daitya family. And he is son of the greatest Daitya. So it says, completely in the midst of Rajas and Tamas. So what can be lower than Tamas? So these asuras, they are tamasic people. And I have taken birth in this. And yet you have made me the highest. Because all these people who were standing there in front of him, including Lakshmi, did not dare to go near him. Everybody was scared. Brahma, he was reciting his prayers from 50 meters. Bholenath Sambhu was also standing away with his trident shaking. No one really dared to come near him. And Lakshmi made an attempt, but she ran away. And she came near him and saw his heavy breath. She jumped away. And Prahlad is standing next to him. So he says that I am the lowest born in this demoniac family, yet you have made me the topmost. Tatte kripa mahatmyam kim varniyami. How can I describe the greatness of your compassion, your grace? Yatyaha padmakara mama sirashi arpitasam. Because your hand you have put on my head, which means he has accepted him. He has given his blessings to accept Prahlad under his care. So you say that if you say somebody has someone's hand on his head, means he has the protection of that person. So Prahlad is under Lord's protection, personal protection. Otherwise Krishna says, Samoham sarvabhuteshu na me dveshosti na priya. That I am equal to everyone. Nobody is dear to me, nobody is hateful. But in case of Prahlad, he is taking personal care. So this is his special position. Nasham paravar matir bhavato nanusyad jantor yathatma suhido jagatas tathapi sansevaya surtarori vate prasadaha sevanurupa mudiyo na paravaratvam. So one can say, well, Lord can also have discrimination. He can be biased. He can favor someone and disregard someone else. So Prahlad says, Naisha paravar matir bhavato nanusyat. He says that you don't have thinking like an ordinary people. Yatha janto. As common people, they always discriminate. They have some people whom they favor, some people they don't like. So he said, you are not like that. So why I am favored? That's his question. You are like a rain cloud which rains everywhere equally. He does not think that this man is a pious person, so let me rain more. Here another person is impious, so no more rain there. So he says, you do not have a mind like this, you don't think like this. Atma sruhido jagatas tathapi And you are the friend of everyone. You are the Suhida. You are the well-wisher of everyone. Sansevaya surtarorivate prasada sevanurupadhiyo nataram. So then why someone gets the grace of the Lord and someone does not get it? So he gives an example that you are like a surataru, like a kalpavriksha, like a desire tree. So desire tree is equal to all, but at least you have to go near it. The tree is not going to come to you. So he says, if someone does service to you, then he gets, and if someone does not do, then he does not get. So therefore there is no biasness, no paravrata. Otherwise one will think that Lord is biased towards some people. And he favors somebody, he is cruel to someone. So this will be considered as a defect in him, Shamta dosha, defect of being biased. But Prahlad is trying to explain how Lord is not biased. So he says if someone goes to the ocean and does not have any pot with him, so he cannot carry any water from it. Somebody goes with a small pot and he fills it up and brings that much water. Somebody goes with a bigger pot, you can get more water. So now you cannot say, well, one person got no water, one got little, one got more. Therefore ocean is biased. It likes this person more than the other one. So that is not true. It is the person's own qualification. So if one is qualified, one surrenders, ye yathamam prapadyante tam stathai bhajamyam. Krishna says, as one approaches me, then I reward accordingly, I reciprocate accordingly. So if you don't believe in God, then God will also behave to you as if there is no God. He will create situations in your life which will make you think that there is no God. God himself will do that. And if somebody argues with you about the existence of God, then he will also give you logic to refute that person. So you remain fixed in your idea that there is no God. Because that's what you want. So if you want to remain an atheist, then he also helps. If you want to be an asura, then he also helps to be an asura. Because he is like a desire tree. Whatever you want, there is no problem. So therefore he says that samsevaya nacha tvam swakripaya uttamadhamau ganayashi ityahanayashi. So he says, while giving your grace, you do not consider whether somebody is superior or inferior, somebody is great or small. You are equal to everyone. Brahmadaya uttamaha ayamasuro nicha ityesha pravarmatir jantoh prakrita tasya tatha bhavto naivsya. So you are not thinking that Brahma, he is a high class person, he knows Vedas, he is disciplined, well behaved, and Prahlad is born in the Daitya family. So he is low class. So let me give more grace to Brahma. So he says you do not have such calculation, you do not have this type of thinking. And that's why I am able to get your grace. Tatra hetu jagataha atmanah suhridas. The reason for that, because you are the well-wisher, the friend, the suhrida of the whole world. Tarhi sarvatraiva samayeva sat udaha prasada. Then says, if he is friend of everybody, then his grace should be there on everyone. Samayeva mat prasada. So then it says, yes, it is there, but it's up to people if they want it or they don't want it. So it's like a buffet. Food is there on the table. You make your plate and eat. But if you don't make your plate, then it's not the fault of the host. You don't want to eat. It's not going to force you. It's available. He has given you the food. So he says, similarly here, Yatha surtarau ashritasyeva sankalpanusarena phalam dadadapi na vishamas tathaiv tomati. So he said, just like the desired tree gives the result, the fruit or blessings according to the wish of the person. Whatever you wish, the tree gives that. So it is not the fault of the tree. If somebody desires something good and gets it, and someone else desires something of lesser value and gets that, you cannot blame the tree for that. So it's according to the sankalpa, according to the wish of the people. Tatrapi sevanurupam udaha seva tartamyanaiva kripaya udatartam. So he said, in your case also, the grace manifests according to the seva, according to the service done to him. So as you ye yatha mam prapadyante, as you surrender, as you serve him, then accordingly one gets the blessings of the Lord. Natu paravaratvam utkrishta nikrishtatvam eva kripaudaya tartamyam karnam. So the reason of his grace is not that somebody is high class, somebody is low class, somebody is born in a good family, somebody is coming from a rich family. This kind of consideration does not apply to him. Evam janam nipatitam prabhavahi kupe kamabhikamam manuya prapatan prasangat kritvatmasat surarshina bhagavan grihita soham katham visvijayata vibhritta sevam. So he says, in this way these people, they are fallen into a snake well in which there is a snake. So everybody has fallen. Kamam, abhikamam, anuya, prapatan, prasanga. And they are desiring to fulfill their desires and following desire one after desire. Kama, abhikamam. And this way they are falling down and down and down. So, kritvatmasat surarshina bhagavan grihita. But you have accepted me through Surarsi, through Sri Narada. You inspired Narada to give me your blessing. So, soham katham nu visruje tava bhritta seva. So how can I give up service to your servants? You have been so gracious to me that I cannot think of giving up service to your servants. So Vishrije tava bhritta seva. So Prahlad, he is recognizing his teacher, his guru, although he is standing in front of the Lord Bhagavan Nrsimhadev directly, but he has not forgotten his guru. So one may think that Guru is leading to God, knows to achieve God, then no need of thinking of him. At least in Advaitavad they have the concept. But Prahlad is a bhakta, therefore he is remembering how Surashri, Devarshi, Sri Narada, he had blessed Prahlada by speaking to his mother. It was a very special blessing, because blessing came through the mother actually. Prahlad was not even born at that time. So he received the blessing through his mother. And he remembers this. So he is feeling very grateful, not only to the Lord but also to Narada. Nanu mat sevaya sansevaya tvai mama samyak prasada ityatra sura taru drishtantena madvasamyam pariharshi kintu sansevaya kim karanam tadgu. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is trying to go a little further down. He says that, okay, you have made me free from biasness by giving the example of desire tree. Because it's very difficult to prove that Lord is not biased. Because you see so much variety in the material world and you tend to think that some people are favored by him, some people are not. It must be because of God. So he showed that it is not true because he is like a desire tree. So Lord Nrsimhadev says, okay, you have made me free from this defect of biasness. And you said that it's all because of the seva. But now he says, what is the cause for seva? Why is that some people do seva and others don't do? So then Prahlad speaks this verse. Because ultimate cause has to be the Lord only. Whether we make him biased or unbiased doesn't matter. So therefore he says that evam utkrishta nikrishta bhavena janam sarvameva kaman abhikamemanam prabhava eva hi yukta kupas tatra nipatitam anutat prasangat prapatan eva han surashina sri nardena atmasat. Says people in this material world, they have their desires. So high desires, low desires, and everybody is trying to pursue their desires. And the outcome of pursuing these desires is that they fall down into the well which has a snake in it. So snake well. You've seen snake well? If you go to snake park, you can see snake well. They have snake park in India. There are snakes, so there is a well and it is full of snakes. So you fall into that snake well, then how do you feel? The snakes around you. We have snakes here, but not so many. Only few of them. But imagine that you are in the well which is full of snakes. So he says this is the situation with people, that they have fallen into the ahikupa, snake well. And then he says that I was also like that. Nipatitam anutat prasangat prapatam. He says, by the association of others, I also fell into this well. But you uplifted me, prapataneva, I was actually falling. Says I had not fallen. Surashina Sri Naradena Atmasata Kritva, I am Jivo Madiyo Bhavatu. So you desired let this jiva be my devotee. And then he inspired Narada. Otherwise, where was the chance for Prahlad to hear? Prahlad was inside the womb. He was not even born yet. And then Narada came and gave instructions. So this is not possible unless there was inspiration which was given by Krishna or Nrsimhadev himself. So he is understanding this fact. So ultimately it is by the grace of Krishna and his devotees that one becomes inclined to serve. Otherwise nobody wants to serve. This inclination to serve comes only by the grace of God. And this is the real grace. So he says, Atmasat kritva ayam jivo madiyo bhavatu iti mai swasvattam aropya grihita balat swapaninaiva grihitva. So he says, it's like I have fallen into this well and you have forcibly uplifted me from that. Tatah sakashat swantikam nitva tan mantra rajam uddishya swaseviki kirtarki. And then you initiated me in your mantra and I became your servant. So he said, this is all by your grace. Soham sansara kupa patita eva sampratiham prahladastvad bhakto yat prasadat abhavam tasya tav bhrityasya Srimad Guru seva katam visudham. So he is saying that that very person whom you uplifted me, whom you uplifted through Sri Narada, now I am born as Prahlad. So how can I forget my Guru? So therefore he says, how can I give up service to your servant? And he comments that servant here means Narada. So he says, I am servant of your devotee Sri Narada, who is my Guru. Tav Bhrityasya, your servant, Srimad Guru, my Guru Seva, Katham Visrajami. So it's not possible for me. Yatha karma jnana yoginah phal prapto sadhanam tyajanti. So he says, on the other path, on the path of karma yoga, on the path of jnana yoga, on the path of ashtanga yoga, they give up once they attain the result. Then they give up. So, Guru mithya, Shastra mithya, Shastram jannam, Jnanam mithya. One should become perfect in Advaitavad, then Guru is mithya, Shastra is mithya, the knowledge of Shastra is also mithya. Because Brahma Satyam Jagan mithya. But not on the path of Bhakti. On the path of Bhakti there is no such thing. You become eternal servant of your Guru in this life and in the perfected life. So this is what Prahlad is conveying here by asking a rhetoric question, Katham nu vishrije tava bhritya sevam. How can I give service to your devotee, your servant? Bhakti marge hi sadhanasya api falibhavat bhagvantam praptanam api dhruvadinam sadhu sangadi sadhana spriha yatha. So he says, on the path of Bhakti marg, on Bhakti yoga, it is different. Even if one attains perfection on this path and attains the Lord, realizes Him, has direct experience of Him, still they desire sadhu sangha, association of sadhu, and of course Guru is the prime sadhu. So he gives the example of Dhruva. Dhruva Maharaj, he had attained perfection, he realized Lord Vishnu directly. But after all that also, Bhaktin muhu prabhatam tvai me prasango bhuyad ananta mehetam amalaya shayanam iti dhyayan charananu girhani yatha smriti syat. So still he was praying that, O Lord, let I may always have bhakti in me and I may always have the association of Mehetam Amala Ashayanam Prasanga. I may have the association of Mehet Purushas, great devotees who are pure-hearted, and Dhyayans Charami Anugrihani Yathasmriti. Let me move about meditating, thinking and recollecting the words and the association of such devotees. This way I will always remain in thoughts of you. So this is bhakti process, it is different from others. Iti cha atayeva vicharyeva maya prarthitam nemam nijbhritya parshvam. So therefore Prahlad says, it is for this reason that I prayed to you that please carry me, lead me in the assembly of your devotees. Earlier he had this prayer, Nemam Nijbhritya Parshvam, and now he says, Katham Vishvijay Tav Bhritya Sevam. So he acknowledges this fact that on Bhakti Marg there is no end to service, there is no end to the association of devotees. And therefore he prays for that. So we'll stop here if there is any question.
This grace topic is very difficult to understand. Previously I was taught that exactly as it is described here, that grace is there, it's available for everybody, but it's up to the individual to take it. And I had thought this is wrong, but as I understand it now, it's not wrong, but it's the second step, because the first step is exactly what is the reason that somebody has the desire to get it or to serve Krishna and the other person not. And in order to explain that, there has to be one step further down, which means the initial grace is indeed not unbiased, because initial grace is like Dutchaya, somebody gets it through the devotee usually, but the reason why the person gets it through the devotee ultimately no reason. And so in that sense, it's not, in that sense we cannot say the Lord is equal to all. There's no reason that he's not equal to all. Can we say that? How to explain that?
Yeah, it is. If you go to that point, then yes, he gives to some specific jiva, and he said that he decides in this case, and not to everybody. That is his independence.
That is,
but he is not biased in the sense, biasedness will be there if he prefers somebody because of that person's some character, some quality, or high birth, or anything like that. It does not depend on that, because Prahlad did not have anything like that. So in that sense it is not biased. Because when we say somebody is biased, means there is something which is causing that biasness. Because he gives his grace without any cause, so it cannot be called as biased. It just shows that how he is supremely independent. And if he is Supreme God, he must be independent. That has to go along with his very definition of being God. So if you accept that he is God, then he has to have this quality, and if he has this quality, that's not a defect.
So is the grace of God only related to instances when there is an increased desire to serve God, or is there? So, like for instance, there's a Chinese proverb. It's a story. Like a man buys a horse home, and the horse runs away, and everyone in the family's sad. And the old man's like, "Oh, we'll see what happens." horse comes back and it comes back after a couple of days and it brings back a whole herd of horses.